Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are having a great Wednesday afternoon. I am actually sitting outside in a park and not far from my house. I came out here. A friend of mine and I this is our second week doing it. We've come out on Wednesday afternoons and able to take a walk, being able to social distance walk through the trails here, through the park. It is beautiful. In a minute, I will flip my camera around and show you where I'm sitting. It's gorgeous, all full of trees, and I can't wait for a few more weeks as these leaves start to change, even though I'm not a big fan of what leaves changing means. But since that means we're going to Florida this winter, that is, bugs. That's okay. I can enjoy my fall, enjoy my leaves changing, and then I can go and enjoy the winter in Florida. But I wanted to come live this afternoon and talk to you guys a little bit about the wall that I hit. I've had a whole lot of outpouring comments and private messages today asking me how I'm doing and what's going on because of the post that I put up last night where I talked about, that I did not stick to I struggled yesterday. That is just the easiest way to say it. I struggled really, really hard last night. And I wanted to come live and talk to you guys about this because this 75-day challenge has been a big part and is helping me grow in so many ways and do so many things. It was a rough day yesterday in all kinds of ways, all the way around, and that's okay. I want to come here and share that with you, share what's going on, share what my thought process is and how I'm growing from it. It's interesting because this morning I got a message from a friend of mine who is doing a similar kind of 75-day hard, except she's doing a different kind of program, which I think the challenge that she's in, it was not something she created herself. It's an actual challenge that she is doing herself. And I think that the rules within that challenge is that if you goof up, you start over. And she messaged me this morning and she said, okay, since you had a rough day yesterday, does that mean you're back to day one? And I went, what? No, I'm not back to day one. I'm at day 53, I think, day 52, whatever a day I'm on. I'm not back to day one. And it actually started an amazing conversation with my kids this morning about what does that mean to go back to day one? Because when I got this message, my daughter was sitting here and sitting with me and I was like, what? Back to day one? No way. Like that didn't even cross my mind. I had a rough day yesterday. Rough days happen. They happen to all of us. And I want to tell you a little bit about what was going on. So I've talked about this and I actually put a post up. You might want to. It's been hard, really hard for me. Like it started out, and I want to give you the thought process as to why I started this, why I'm doing this, where it is. So when I started this challenge at the beginning of August, I was at a place, 4.5 years ago when I lost my weight, I got to the top of my healthy weight range, and I've sat there and I've sat there and I've sat there. And for the last few years, I've gone back and forth, playing with the fact that I really want to get off those last 20 pounds. And I haven't done it. And every time I get on this track and I start to go and I start to get to it, and then I get to a point, which is right actually about the point that I'm at now, and I hit a wall, I get into the place that says, I'm fine. I fall into that dreaded F word, the bad F word in my world. There are two bad F words in my world, fine and failure. Those two words are not. But I get to that dreaded F word of I'm fine, and I hit a wall. And every other time, I've let things go, and I've slipped back, and I've creeped back up, and I've gotten back to where I'm still in that 5-pound range that I allowed where I stopped 4.5 years ago when I hit my healthy weight originally. I had crept up all the craziness that was going on in my life, everything that was happening. I had fallen into some old bad habits, and I had crept back up, and I was about 8 pounds above the top of that 5-pound range. So I was really going the wrong direction, really where I didn't want to be. And I took a good hard look at the beginning of August and said, if I keep going in this direction, 6 months from now, I'm going to be back where I was when I started this journey in 2016. And that's not what I wanted. So I put together my 75-day hard. And somebody actually asked me earlier today, she's like, it's so focused around food. And she said, that's not where I want mine to go. She said, I really need mine to be focused around mindset. And I said, then you need yours to be focused around mindset. I said, for me, it needed to start with food. It needed to start because my physical was so out of balance at the beginning of August and I was going the wrong direction. And I know my plan works. My plan is not easy, but it's simple. There's a big difference between easy and simple. It's simple. It's simple to follow. There are direct rules. It's simple to follow, and the results are guaranteed. That's no question. So I knew, Jamie, I'm breaking up really badly. Let me see. I wanted to sit back here where it was nice and pretty. Let me see if I walk out of the trees. Look, you can look behind me. Let me see. Tell me if this is getting better. Tell me if this is getting any better. I got my connection back. I came out of the trees, but it's just so much prettier back there. But I'll sit at the picnic table here. So give me some thumbs up if you can hear me now, okay? If not, then I will stop this and I'll come back and do it later. But at the beginning of August, I needed that simple plan. I needed something that was going to give me concrete, straight lines. This is what I needed to do. And once I had that easy part and that I didn't have to worry about, I could then focus on building the mindset piece. I could focus on working forward and building those things. And so that was the reason why I started this. So if you've watched what I've done and said, oh, all she ever focuses on is on food, that is because that's where I needed to put that focus right now. Yes, it needed to be on the food so that I could get physically healthy, so that I could get mentally healthy. And that's really, like, I want you to understand that. So I started this and I was rocking it, and the physical was coming and the mental was starting to come, but it was getting hard. This challenge is hard. The food plan piece is the simpler part. But what happened was I've lost a bunch of weight, and I've gotten to the place where every time that I've done this, I get to this place and I start to feel fine. And this is why the fine word is not allowed in my world and not allowed in my life, because we feel fine. My clothes are fitting better. My energy is up. My confidence is starting to soar, and I'm starting to feel fine. It's not getting any better, Jamie? Well, let's see. Is anybody else having trouble hearing me? I can go back into my car. Let me know. Let me see if I turn off the Wi-Fi. Is my Wi-Fi on? Let me see if turning off my Wi-Fi helps. See if that helps, because sometimes then it's not trying to pull for Wi-Fi. So let me know if it gets any better. And so I didn't want. I've started hitting that fine spot. The last few weeks, I've been feeling fine, which meant that I've been knocking at this. My wall is there. I hit this wall, unfortunately, in my past journeys, in my past working towards this. I hit this wall and I slam into it, and then I stop. And then I stay there for a little while weight-wise, and then it starts to creep back, and then I get back to my spot where I'm in a safe zone of my 3 to 5 pound at weight range. That's just been my habit. That's been my pattern. And I made a decision this time that I was not going to stop at that fine spot. Yeah, I'm glad it's better. Maybe it's just that I turned off it's not trying to pull for Wi-Fi anymore. So I'm glad that I hit that. I wasn't going to hit that I'm at that fine spot. Well, I got to that I'm fine spot a couple of weeks ago, and I started knocking on that wall. And if you've noticed, I don't know how closely you pay attention to the charts that I post at night, but sometimes there's little dots in some of the spots. And those are places where have I followed the rules? Yeah, but I've sort of been ishing it, is what we call, it's barely been by the fine line that I've been following those rules. And I've been tracking that for myself, because that's the mental piece. I know that's there, that's the mental piece, that's the hard part. And I've been watching that, and I've sort of been knocking on that wall of I'm fine. Why am I doing this? Why do I really want to get to that next spot? And knock it on that wall. And I've been able to pull myself back from it. In other stressful things and other things, I've been able to pull myself back from it. And yesterday, it was a tough day. There were a whole bunch of things in my life, in my world, that was going on around me that just made it a tough day. Sorry, my phone is ringing. It just made it a tough day. Happens. We all have tough days. But I've been knocking at that door for a little while now of it's fine. And last night, I didn't just knock. I slammed into it. It just, boom, I hit it. And I made not great choices to have things that weren't on my plan. It happens. And I knew when I was doing it, so there's different things, and I want to clarify this. When you are choosing to have something off plan because you really want to have it and you want to enjoy it and you're going to get great enjoyment out of it and it's going to be great, have it. That's a healthy way to have it. But that's not where my head was last night. My head was in such a bad place of, I just need to suppress these emotions. I just need to eat this to suppress those emotions. That's not a healthy place. That's not where I was at last night. And I knew that, and it just, I didn't feel good physically. I felt good for about 30 seconds with the first things that I ate off a plan, but then it got to the point where I didn't feel good physically. I didn't feel good emotionally. I woke up this morning not feeling good about it, and it wasn't a great place. But the truth is, I'm 52 of this. I am not where I was when I started this at the beginning of August. I am totally in a different place. So to go back and say I'm going to start on again, that's not real. That's not where we are. That's not life. We go on. And I was having this conversation with my kids this morning, and I said, okay, if we go on a long trip, when we go to Florida, if we're driving along and we get a flat tire, the tire blows out, does that mean we turn around and we go home? Absolutely not. It means we fix the tire and we move on. We repair it and we go. Maybe we buy a new tire. Whatever it is, we go and we do it. That's the same with this. So I really stopped and took a good hard look last night and said, and this morning, really, what's going on? I hit that fine wall. What can I learn from this? How could I have done this differently? Where do I want to go from here? And I reset myself. I'm back on. I'm back committed. There's no more ishing this. And I'm back on. Am I going to hit another wall at some point? Probably. Did I, but I move on each time. Every single day that we do this, we move on. And it's really important to do that. Don't beat yourself up. Give yourself some grace. This challenge for me is about progress, not perfection. And that's one of the things that you've got to know. Progress, not perfection. And all of this, when I look back at the end of the 75 days, I'm going to see where I circled that and put a little frowny face, and I'm going to remember that. And I did that so that I can remember it, so I can remember how I was feeling, so I can remember what was going on and how I grew from it. So if you're doing your own challenge, if you're part of this challenge, whatever it is that you're doing, take it one day at a time. And if you have a rough day, give yourself some grace, but take that ability. Ask yourself, what could I have done differently? The next time that happens, the next time, where can I go? And as I continue to knock on that door of fine, this has made me stop and really, really reevaluate my why. Why do I want to get all the way there? Why is that important to me? Why am I not just sticking where I am, where I'm fine? I don't want to be fine. I don't want to just be fine. I want to be good. I want to be great. I want to be amazing. And once I get to that final spot, it's going to take me and allow me to propel forward to create all the other things that I want to do in my life. Some of this is I have been struggling, and I'm struggling with my weight for 30 years. 30 years, okay? So I think a big fear for me is I get to this spot where I feel fine. But what's going to happen when I actually get to that final spot that I haven't been to in 30 years? I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what that looks like. And I think that that's part of what scares me, is that what's going to happen? This is something that I've been working towards for 30 years. What does that mean when I get there? But I'm excited to find that out. I'm excited to find out what that means, but it's scary. And that's why I keep knocking on this I'm fine door. But I'm not letting the fine door win this time. It's won in the past. It has won way too many times, but I'm done with that. I'm past that. I will get there. I will get to that goal, and I will face it, and I will face all of that. And that's where the mindset piece comes in. That's what's so important. That's what's so important about the program that I coach, is that yes, I give you a meal plan. I give you a food plan, the one that is right for you, that makes it simple, not easy, simple to follow, so that you can do the hard work up here. So that you can focus, instead of focusing on what do I have to do for my food, that's done for you, and you can focus on what do I need to do up here to grow my biggest, best life. And that's what I want to challenge you to do. I'm really excited. Yes, we have our 2020 Reboot Challenge that's going on. So I know many of you are already part of that started. And that's awesome. It works. Gone up here. Do, a habit crusher kind of challenge. It's going to be something different. It's not going to start until after the 2020 reboot is done. And if you are starting to think about this, if you're starting to think about, I need this, I need the simple plan so that I can so that I don't have to focus on that and I can focus on being my best me. Let's talk, because I'm ready to help a whole bunch of people change their lives and get themselves to their best me, or on their way to their best me, as we close out this 2020 year that has been not helping people get to their best me's. So let's talk. But I just really wanted to come live and share this with you and let you guys know that this is where I'm coming from. I'm totally transparent about this, and no, I am not starting over at day one, because we don't start at day one. When we goof up, when we have a rough day, it's still the next day, and we still go on and we still grow. So I'm going to say goodbye as I'm hearing the parent taking their crying child away from the park, but I'm going to flip around and just show you. Oops, those are the beautiful trails. There are trails all back there. That is where I was walking earlier. So hope all is well, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.